It's the 90s. Again.
And we're here to prove that this decade ruined music. All downhill after the 80s. Some good stuff, but by and large, we're going to show you a top 10 that you should be disgusted at.
Yes, the reason we said the 90s weren't that bad is because the albums we picked from the 90s
We're good.
80s artists. That's why.
Yeah, not but despite having all those good albums, the world in general did not like those albums.
Oh, yeah.
So let's listen to what they liked.
All right, we'll start with this is 11. It's like, what do we call them? Honorable mention. Is Puff Daddy and Faith Evans.
Puff Daddy.
P. Diddy.
P. Diddy, right?
Yes. I'll be missing you. How does it go? No clue.
If I heard it, maybe I don't recognize it.
Yeah, if I listened, maybe I would too. Okay, number 10. So Puff Daddy, this next one and the one coming after it, all spent 11 weeks.
So this whole
Number 1
11 songs, all with 11 weeks
on the chart or at
number one.
All right, number 1. Okay. So 10, Unbreak My Heart from Tony Braxton.
They're probably her biggest song, right?
Unbreak My Heart. Yeah, probably.
I would imagine that's her biggest.
Okay, number 9 for them was I Swear from All dash number 4 dash 1. They could have had 2 numbers. They could have put 4 dash 1
Now,
and number 1.
there's only the most interesting thing I like about that song is that it was redid by the Minions in a song called Underwear.
Oh, okay.
And instead of saying, and I swear, they go,
Underwear. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, so I'm assuming, since they have a 4, all for 1, that there's probably 4 band members in it. It's probably, and I'll bet they sing, but there's other people who play the instruments.
There's no way they play the instruments, correct.
Okay, so that's number 9. Number 8 was 12 weeks at number 1, and this is Smooth from Santana, whose album had different singers, and this one was Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20.
Yes. So Matchbox 20 was a really good band in the United
Now
States.
he had a video and a song out from 70s called Black Magic Woman. Was that him singing? Probably.
Yeah,
I would assume that was him
He
singing.
did not have good stuff from the 80s.
Yeah.
But he was in the 70s pretty big, and then he came back.
And
in the 90s.
and then he had Michelle Branch sang Game of Love.
Yes. Those are my 2 favorites too.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the other songs he put out as singles, he continued to make good stuff. His 90s stuff is just...
Yeah, he's just a good guitarist,
Yeah.
and he has to have somebody else
He's
sing.
probably up there in age now.
Yeah. Okay, number 7. The Boy Is Mine. 13 weeks at number 1. Who sang it? Brandy and who's this?
Monica.
Monica, okay.
You're going by first.
Monica who?
They went by first name.
Okay, that was her.
Yes.
Brandy, yeah, it was like Madonna and
This,
Cher. It's like,
Well, you know what? Think about this. In the 80s, there was a song called The Girl Is in Mine.
Yeah.
And it was a duet by 2 guys.
guys, yeah.
So this one's a duet by
Did
2
they
girls.
just did it's the same song and they just change it from girl to
That'd
boy?
be interesting to find out.
All right, next one is number 6 is also 13 weeks at number 1. End of the Road from Boys to Men. And I was thinking this is a song from Lethal Weapon 3. They did sing a song, and that was I'll Say Goodbye for her or something like
Okay. And I incorrectly thought I Swear was by them. But
Yes.
it's all fun because
Because they sound alike.
if you put them both on the radio, you would not be able to
Yeah.
discern who's
And
who.
somebody else did too, because there is a video that says I Swear, and it's Boys to Men. It's not Boys to Men, but the person who put the video on YouTube thought it was.
Now, did they start out as a group of boys and then they became...
Oh, yeah.
That would-
Or were they saying, well, we're in that middle phase. We're becoming, and we're still boys.
Right.
Uh,
You know what group symbolizes boys to men?
yeah.
Hanson.
Yeah.
Bop.
Yeah. Now, after 5 albums, shouldn't they then just be called
Men.
All right, number 5. The last 5, all 5 are 14 weeks. Number 1. Number 5th one, One Sweet Day, also Boys to Men, and Mariah Carey. And of course, talking about a friend probably who passed away, right? And we'll see you soon. Christ. Yeah, so you sing about some song like that, and it gets way up there, like the one with Charlie Puth and I don't know who else, but it was about Paul Walker, pretty much.
Okay.
Well, Paul Walker died, and it was at the end of whichever Fast and Furious movie
that
that was.
So they're singing to the dead person.
Yeah.
Does the dead person hear
Listen,
that song?
I didn't hear it. Yeah. All right, number 4 is I'll Make Love to You, Boys to Men. So Boys to Men now has 3, right? And they were right in a row, 6, 5, and 4. So good for them. Did they make it out of the 90s? I don't think they did. Yeah.
I would not even buy their greatest hits.
Yeah. Okay. Number 3, also 14, is Macarena.
How do we do that? Too many.
Kind of, and yeah, the thing it reminds me of is Three Amigos. Their thing.
Oh yeah.
they did a little thing.
Yes.
And go,
Maybe that's where it came
I don't
from.
know.
I bet it.
Yeah.
I bet it did come from a different country.
Yeah,
They
and
brought it here.
yeah, and nobody could sing the lyrics. Because they sing in Spanish the whole time. Macarena. That's the only thing that's the only thing they could sing. Number 2 is I Will Always Love You, which is Whitney Houston from The Bodyguard.
Probably isn't. Oh, you said End of the Line, but that's. Oh, actually, that was not a movie. So that's the only movie song, right?
And yeah, now we had said last week that we'll probably be on this list with Bryan Adams. Everything I Do for You. Everything
I was
do, I do for you.
mistaken.
Yeah, you said 17 weeks. Number 1, there was only 7.
7. I could have sworn growing up. I heard it
And
was
these all at least started at 11 weeks. So and the number 1 is from Elton John, Candle in the Wind, the remake, because Princess Diana had passed away.
Yes.
Because of the paparazzi. They killed her. which I don't know if you ever saw the Mel Gibson produced movie, not directed but produced, called Paparazzi.
Oh, okay. Yes, I did.
Which there was a car accident in there, and it was caused by the paparazzi.
Right.
And then the guy gets revenge on them one at a time, but sets it up so it doesn't look like he's the one doing it.
Actually, and he makes a cameo in it.
Yeah, Mel Gibson in the waiting room of something.
I do like that movie.
Yes.
That's one of his good.
Because we always
Cole
watch-
Hauser, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who is a bad? So I liked him, and he was the good. He was causing bad things to happen, but you're rooting for him because
Right.
he's a good guy.
Yes.
But
Now-
he's the bad guy in Fast and Furious 2.
Okay.
Too Fast, Too Furious. Is that what it is?
Sure.
Yeah, he's the bad.
I've seen all of them except for
He's
the
the bad guy in that.
Tokyo Drift's the only one I haven't seen in that movie.
He's Rutger Hauer's son, I believe, right? I think he's.
No, his last name is Hauser.
Yeah, that is. Rutger Hauer. Oh, Rutger Hauer does have a son. We'll cut this out. I screwed that up.
I like that part. Okay, so listen to this. I'm telling you this. All those songs, 11 songs on the charts for 11 weeks or more, which proves the 90s were not as good as the 80s.
Right.
Because
It shows you
it
what
was hard to make a good song to overtake crap. In the 80s, there's, oh, that's good. Who's gonna, and they get knocked out easily because here comes the next good song. In the 90s, they're like, this will stay on the charts forever.
Because
there's nothing good coming.
There's nothing good to overtake it, right?
Right. So that's my perspective. Anyways,
It shows you how people's tastes were changing.
the
too.
taste did change. However, we're going to straighten it out by giving you
Yeah.
the correct 10 good songs from the 90s. However, it's of the 1980s artists. So
And it's only
no
from
Mariah
it's only
Carey.
and it's only from our top 100.
no Boys to Men. Sorry, none of the. Is any of them even
Because
qualified?
here's the thing: there are artists we're going to do
Right.
that are going to be past our top 100. That if we had
Yes.
done them, they might have made this list, but
Right.
they're not going to because we haven't
Now,
done them yet.
the only artist I believe that even qualifies is Whitney Houston.
Okay.
Because we've done her and she has a song on that chart. But everybody else.
Elton John.
Oh, Elton John, you're right. But everybody else came.
Which, by the
After
way,
the
are number 1 and number 2.
But that was the world's chart.
Yes.
I put.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's get to the top 10. Starting with the honorable mentions. There's a lot of them. There's 6 of them. So that's. All right. So if you remember last week, we said most of our albums for the 90s came from 1991.
I do remember last week. I don't remember that.
Oh, you're
last
right.
week.
Week before.
2 weeks ago.
Okay, so 1991, I think 7 of our albums came from that year.
Yeah.
The songs, however, are spread out more over the decade. But we do have 3 songs from that year, and 2 of them are in our top 3. Go figure. All right, but anyways, honorable mentions. I'll go 3 each. Let's go with yours first. Sting, who started midway through the 80s on his solo chart, had a whole boatload more songs after the 80s. And the one you chose for this list, I think it was probably the highest 90s song of his that charted. If I Ever Lose My Faith. That's all, right? It doesn't say in you in the title, does it? if I
He
ever-
says in the lyrics, yeah.
yeah. And yeah, he loses his faith. Well, he doesn't actually lose his faith. He asks.
Well,
"If I
but
lost my
yeah,
faith
well,
in
the
other
lyrics,
things."
he's telling you that people have faith in
politicians and
a lot of
religion.
things,
All,
right?
yes, but yeah, I definitely like that middle part where I believe it's a harmonica.
That thing.
No, the one,
Ah, okay.
the right in the middle, the interlude. When again, guitar solos didn't exist after a while, and so they had this. All right, your next one, coming from your honorable mention album from our previous video, which you remember was Michael Jackson's Dangerous.
Okay.
Which means Black or White was one of your honorable mentions. So Michael Jackson didn't make either list, except for your honorable mentions. By the way, check out the new version of Black or White featuring Kamala Harris. Have you seen that?
Is there a video?
Yes. You know the.
Oh yes, I
you
did.
know the part where
they switch from person to
face
person.
to
She's
face?
in one of them. Right?
No, she's all.
She's
of them.
all of them. Oh, okay.
So every single one is a face switch to her. Okay, because she's the new black.
Yeah, even though when she's becoming president, they're all
Yes.
like Indian American. Or
Correct.
Indian.
Yes. All right, and lastly, Joyride. I would disagree with you on this one. I do like Roxette. How this was their biggest '90s song.
Right.
Is this the one where they whistle, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
at the end.
So, a whistling song should not be in our top 10.
How many whistling songs we got? If Supertramp had whistles, right? They whistled that one
I think so.
at the end of Goodbye Stranger. I think it was Goodbye Stranger.
Oh yeah.
Peter Gabriel, didn't they whistle in Games Without Frontiers?
Yes.
So,
Let's not go through.
whistling.
Top 10 whistle songs.
Guns N' Roses. Patience, he whistles.
That's right.
We could probably get a top 10
Top
list
10.
of people whistling in songs.
Okay, yes. But instead, let's move on to my top honorable mention songs. Okay, first one comes from Tears for Fears, Break It Down Again. After he became a solo artist.
Yeah.
So, then I have Live for Loving You from Gloria Estefan.
La 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 la.
I'm surprised one of her songs didn't make the top 10.
Okay.
And then our artist we grew up with that nobody else cares about, Rush. Roll the Bones, my top 10, which I just listened to all the way over here. All right, so there we go, 3 each. So yes, those artists will not be on our top 10. Number 10 is, however, a tie, so we actually have 11. So our tie comes between a guy you just mentioned, Peter Gabriel, with Steam, which I put down at 27, but you have at 5. That's why it's. And then
So I don't have Sledgehammer. That's because that was 80s.
80s. That was 80s. And then Living on the Edge by Aerosmith. Both of us had that as 16, so both of those numbers equal 32. Therefore, it's tied at number 10. Interesting.
Yeah, so, okay, wait. Which one did you pick was the better one?
We both
You picked Aerosmith.
I picked Aerosmith,
And
yes.
I picked Peter Gabriel?
Yes.
Okay.
Because yours was in your top 5, and then both of us, yeah. It's just the difference. The difference on Steam was way out there. But I do like Steam. Just, I had a boatload of songs above that. Alright, number 9 we just did recently, and I think we got 3 songs on our list that were our number 1s for that particular artist, and this is one of them. Coming from Guns N' Roses, You Could Be Mine.
You aren't. You could be.
This is our 3rd song from 1991. I had this at 6. You have it at 18. Again, similar to I think we mentioned Huey Lewis, Couple Days Off.
Yeah.
Where you start with the drums, a little bit different drums, but still, Guns N' Roses drums, pretty good. And again, it's a movie song, so probably one of the best sci-fi movies out there, action movies to combine. Number 8, coming from an underrated album, however, it was on our top 10 for last time. Let's Get Rocked by Def Leppard, which I had as my number 1. And you had way down at 23.
Did the video change my perspective on it?
Probably.
Maybe.
I don't see how it didn't. I mean, considering we just had Steam, and it did, animation kind of graphics in it too.
Okay.
I think those graphics actually hold up better than Def Leppard's graphics. And I just saw Def Leppard recently.
Right.
They did not play any songs off of Adrenaline.
Okay. They played every song off Hysteria Family.
I think they played all the Hysteria songs, most of the Pyromania songs, and they played
the hits we're talking about.
And another off song that I've never heard of, and they played Two Steps Behind.
Okay.
From an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. So he gets mentioned twice again. Okay, number 7, coming from our first woman artist. I have this at 15, you have it at 7. Another movie song, GoldenEye. Coming from...
Have you listened to the lyrics of GoldenEye?
No.
Because I don't think they told Tina Turner what GoldenEye was, because she sings it in the perspective that GoldenEye is a person.
Oh, okay.
And that's not what it is in the movie.
No, but you know what? When I listen to the James Bond songs, this happens in A View to a Kill and GoldenEye, both, where they have lyrics and you hear the James Bond music in it.
Several of those hits have them. I think.
But those two in particular do it pretty good.
Speaking of lyrics of a James Bond song, also have License to Kill. I was listening to that last week and I heard this. I don't recall it. I got a license to kill anyone who tears us apart. I'm like, really? you try to tear us apart?
You just indiscriminately start shooting people. Yes.
I just laughed at that lyric when I heard it.
Okay, next one up. Another number 1 of ours from the artist. Coming in at 6 from an Eric that we did. Not Eric Carmen.
Eric Clapton.
Eric Clapton, if you remember number 1.
His, it was Bad Love.
Bad Love, yes. And you have this at 4 and I have it at 11. It's when he goes, do and Phil Collins is the drummer.
Yes,
song, so.
which is why anytime Phil Collins gets in there, it goes up.
And actually, this is the only song Phil Collins will be in on this list.
Yeah.
So what was I forget what his top song for the 90s was for us outside of the 80s.
Phil Collins.
Yes, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Yeah, because it's probably something happened on the way to heaven.
Could be.
And just not good enough to make this chart. Which is why you would buy No Jacket Required.
Hanging long enough.
But seriously, no, you didn't. I like that one, and you did not put it in the top 10. All right, number 5. Another number 1 from an artist. I believe this was our top song. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was either this or Rebel Yell. But I have Cradle of Love.
Yeah, that was number 1.
That was number 1? Okay. I have this at number 2. Def Leppard being the only song that beats it out to me. And you have it at 12. And this and Bad Love both came from 1990. So those were the most recent from the 80s. Okay. And of course, we still haven't mentioned your 1 or 2. They're still coming.
Okay.
So, matter of fact, you nailed the top 3.
All right.
Number 4, which I put as my number 4, and you had down at 9. It's the only song on our list that actually technically is not in the 90s. 2000, coming from Bon Jovi. It's My Life. Which, comeback? Probably a comeback.
Yeah, I'd say they went away, and they had that, and Have a Nice Day. Did they have more than that? I mean, he had the one with Jennifer Knowles, even though you don't know who she is.
Right. But yeah.
Who Says You Can't Go Home? That one.
Yeah. So this is, for being over a decade after the 80s, is still having a song on this chart for Bon Jovi. And they're still going strong now. But, they like Joe Biden, so...
Well, the 90s, when was Ally McBeal? He was on Ally McBeal.
That's right.
So that's probably why he wasn't quite into music as much for a while.
Yeah. Okay, and the top 3 which you got right. First coming from Bryan Adams, which I think this was our number 2 right after One Night Love Affair. So your 3rd, my 8, Can't Stop This Thing We Started. I think you mentioned it. It's like,
yeah, we mentioned that last
start
week.
something. You can't stop it. Is it a good thing? How about you get on a roller coaster and it won't stop? Coming in at number 2, your number 2, my number 7 from your favorite artist, which was
Billy Joel.
Billy Joel. Somehow I put him down at 10. Something like that.
Forgot how many hits he had there.
Yes. Anyways, it's I Go to Extremes, which technically came from an album from 1989, but the song didn't come out till later.
Yeah, we're doing the songs when they were released.
And this would be the 3rd song from 1990. So we had 3 in 1990, 3 in 1991, and then tails off after that.
So you go to extremes. You're either far right or far left. You are not. He's not moderate.
Definitely not a moderate. I know he's an atheist. So which side do atheists choose? Probably not the right side.
Yeah.
Because conservative or the Christians, right? Atheist would be he's a leftist for sure. Says me. Anyways, it reminds me though of Hall & Oates, Out of Touch.
Right.
He says we've
leftists are out of touch, is what you're saying?
No, well, yes. But he has this line in it. He says, the guns would cool down if we weren't from one extreme to the other. That's part of the... lyrics aren't exactly like that, but that's what he's talking about. He's like, we're on one extreme or the other. Yeah. Guns would cool down if we'd be in the middle. Who do you think our number 1 song comes from?
Huey Lewis?
Huey Lewis, our number 1 artist, what do you know? And I mentioned this song already. It's coming from Hard at Play, your number 1. My number 3, I already mentioned the 2 that I chose in front of it. Couple Days Off. Woo! Yeah. I don't know how this album wasn't better, other than, well, kind of, he had the one album in between that didn't do as well. So maybe people weren't going, when's this next one coming out? Because they didn't want it to be just like that one. But yeah, A Couple Days Off was still a pretty good song. and then they faded after that.
Should have had a song called Harder Play. That would have been pretty good. It's a good title. Why did you have a song called Harder Play?
Well, then he didn't have a. Okay, let's go through this. Did he have a song called Picture This?
No.
Sports.
No. Now that I've gone through their albums, if I were to rank them, I would rank 4 the best.
Yeah.
Sports the second best. Harder Play the third.
Yeah, probably.
Then Picture This.
Then Picture This. And the only song, album title that he sings, Small World.
I would put Small World. Yeah, I might even put Small World right with Picture This.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so there is our top 10 for 90s songs from our artists from the 80s. We won't have to say that again, at least.
All right, so next week we're going to 2000s and tell me nobody bands. There would be a short list, be like 3 artists, 3 songs.
We know
Duran
Duran will be on. And Weird Al. That actually did.
Whitney Houston.
And Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
So all the ones, the artists we picked later, they're still there. Anyway, so back to our artists, and we're doing Whitesnake next. So you might be surprised. And by the way, David Coverdale did have a solo album, so we're going to throw that in there. And he also played with Deep Purple, if you can believe that. We'll see if either of those 2 songs make it as well.
Well, one, no. Another, probably.
All right. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.